I was actually looking at as soon as I do a video, I look back at it, but I realized I'm running out of time because I want the customer service thing for me to switch my phone closes at 8 our time. So I don't I'll watch it after I get that done. But I wanted to um go into I at the end of the other one, I think, or what I was saying that we don't know she's black until she says those things to him and he, things like that. Oh, no. He we don't know. We don't know. Because when he's in his car thinking about racial defilement and this is in the ultimate, because she's black and um, stuff like that. He's already met her at the club and she already knows who he is and he's on his way. Now, what I was thinking while I was listening to that and deciding whether or not I was going to make another video or not. But I wasn't going to, but I didn't finish my thoughts, so that's why I'm gonna do another one. There's one part in the book when she comes into the club. She comes into the club and she goes back in the kitchen, and it says something like, as she made her way back to the cozy kitchen, she heard a voice that made her skin crawl. um and she stops for a minute and she um listens, and who this guy is that's in the kitchen talking to Madame is a collaborator. And I think I do kind of describe him a little teeny bit now. I do put that he has a comb over, which is the most ridiculous. Man, you're bald, stop, everybody knows you're bald. um but he has this, and I like, kind of like, bald. I mean, if a guy's nice looking anyway, it doesn't matter if he's bald. Who cares? That doesn't matter. You know, but and it must be one of my cavemen thing, my cave women things from my leftover cave woman thing, that I think this part of a man's head, I like to see that part of a man's head, is attractive to me. So maybe that's why. But um, anyway, this guy has he's a collaborator and he has a, people don't know what that means. There were French people who absolutely cooperated with the occupation. They actually rounded up the French Jews to have them transported. They actually were the Germans, more or less, eyes and ears in their own villages, in their own towns. And if you look at a map um, from that era and look at the occupied, look at France and where it was occupied, and just look at, you'll see what I mean. And there were a lot of collaborators like that, pretty much trying to survive, I guess. I don't know. But I'm thinking that would be a good, because okay, this man's in the kitchen talking to Madame and telling her, well, after my character gets into the kitchen, um he's so proud that, because now remember, she just came in and she's thinking, um oh, we might be performing to an empty room. We might not be, we might be, playing to empty room because there's a curfew. So can't any of the Parisians can't come, so who's going to be, in the show? Who's going to be there to see the show? And this creep is in the kitchen when she gets there, and says to her, "Well, tonight you're gonna perform for very special, so for some very special guests. It's gonna be the audience is gonna be full of SS men, you know." And I'm thinking that he's a nasty little critter, and he would be the one to make some kind of colored crack. You know what I mean? So he would be the one to say something like, uh, well, I don't make some kind of because he does say to her, he says to her, let me see if I can find it. He says to her, um, lovely as ever. He was a waddling, balding nuisance with a comb over it, as if no one could recognize his lack of hair. I thought that's pretty good. He had beady little quick eyes that darted about the room. He was forever sniffing and wrinkling his nose. Um, uh, that's like the most actual description I've ever, actually that I actually write. Once in a while, there's little snippets of it. Then I went into something I know I probably took out. I don't know what version this is. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. He says that your immense if somewhat risque talents will be displayed this evening before some very important men. He leaned forward, his pickled garlic breath permeating the lady's nostrils. A delegation of SS officers, and that's when she finds out that the new opening of her club, the new thing she's been waiting for, and then the club actually when the Germans actually occupied it in like 1940, I want to say they I'm thinking they didn't close the club right away. They kind of ignored them. They kind of just let it and I'm thinking that all of a sudden for some reason, because what I'm thinking is because there's so much sabotage and stuff going on around them and this kind of thing, that somehow they get an inkling that there might be a little more to this place than but all in all they sort of because they could all have been transported east just for the black market itself, but because it's a nightclub and it serves food and stuff like that, and I'm still kind of confused, but I'll work it out. I'm still kind of confused that if the club had remained open all that time and it's occupied by Germans, why didn't they uh, put the curfew in place as soon as they occupied the city? Is what I'm thinking. Which is a lot of times that's why they call it fiction. It's because you can write what you want. So I'm thinking that maybe just well, the regular German soldiers really couldn't afford to go there, but I'm thinking maybe they did. Okay, I don't know. I don't know. I have to work that out. But what I was thinking was that he would be this guy would be catty enough to say something like, uh, you're like just like he said, you're somewhat risque talents. Risque. Um, talents will be enjoyed by these SS officers tonight. I'm thinking that he would say something about her color. He would be, because as I see the cast of the people in the show, it's kind of a mixed group. That some of the musicians are black, some of them are white, some of the dancers and background singers are black, some of white, kind of like it would be in Paris at that time. So, but the star of the show is this lady, and of course she's black. So I'm thinking now that as a matter of fact, let me write that down. Let me put it in here. That maybe, yeah, because you can see this page is a freaking mess. Let's see. That maybe he says something about her, being black. I don't know what this means. About her being black. Maybe he said make some kind of crack or something like that. Because we really don't know. We don't know. Um, Also too, I haven't figured out but this is a little more this is further along in the story. I haven't figured out how he's getting my hero, quote unquote, how he's getting away with this. How he's getting away with seeing her, because obviously somebody knows. But like I said, um is he is so high up. That's why I changed his rank to general. In the first couple of renditions, he was a major actually, and in this rendition, he's a general. And the way, well, when I made him a major, the uh how he gets away with it is that, nepotism. He has relatives who are big in the our generals and stuff, and our higher ups, and he's kind of nobody wants to piss off who any of his relatives, but and that's how he gets away with it. And plus he's in Paris with her, you know so the Parisians kind of see it and don't see it, and see it and don't see it. And um in the second rendition and in the third one, in this one, she tries to play it off to the people around her like she really doesn't want to be with this guy, but deep inside she really does. And that's part of, like I was saying in the other video, of how she can justify this to herself, you know that she's putting on one front to Madame, and the other people, that especially the men and the black men that are in the dance company, and that are in the um in the band, in the little orchestra, that are the dancers and the background singers and the musicians, stuff like that. She kind of justifies it, like, to them, that, oh well, I wouldn't be seeing him if I wasn't trying to you know collaborate with him. Not collaborate, I wasn't trying to spy on him, wasn't trying to use him, blah blah blah, when that's not the truth at all. What the truth actually is that she really cares a lot about him. She really cares a lot about him. And that um besides the fact that he is, because she just said that she was very disappointed when she saw the first Germans. She thought they were all going to be, these attractive, people, and they just were regular like anybody else. But so she kind of plays to the men in her, in the show, and that are, around, that this isn't something she really wants to do, but deep down inside in her own heart, she really wants to be with this man, regardless of the stuff that he has done. um and it's the same thing when they get to when the married couple get to the camp. I'm thinking about something. I don't know if I'm going to put it in, but I'm really thinking about something, because they had what I'm going to call um, bottom of the pot people. And what that means is this watery soup that they would feed the people in the camp, the prisoners in the camp, wasn't even broth. I mean, basically it was water with some potatoes in it, because they weren't um um interested, actually. And Ingrid Bergman was the name I couldn't come up with, in Casablanca with Humphrey Bogart. See, I told you, once you put the computer, you go search and think about something else, and then the computer will find it for you. Best computer on the planet. Um, she when while okay, the bottom of the pot was where a few potatoes might be floating. Might be, because they would drop to the bottom. And that's kind of going to be my name for women who have shown favors. So I'm thinking that this will come up, and it'll come up, well, how do you get to, because I don't care what I'd have to do if I was in that situation. I mean, unless it meant harming my kid, I wouldn't give a doggone. I mean, short of, like, I don't think I'd squeal on anybody. I wouldn't be that kind of person. But if you weren't weak enough to, if you weren't strong enough to hold on to that bread, it'd be me and you. And there's one scene of the married lady that you couldn't lose a part of your uniform. Losing your bowl, losing your spoon, losing a part of your, not having a part of your uniform, that kind of thing would get you, would get you punished, get you killed. Um, and stealing, as ironic and ridiculous as that is, you would get punished for stealing. Okay. So what happens is, I kind of got into my mind. What happens is, I think she loses her scarf or something. And there's a woman, because they just pile them up on top of each other. And there's a woman sleeping in the bed with her, and she takes her scarf. And this is and then the woman ends up getting punished, getting basically gets killed, because once you got punished there, that was it. And at first I had it be a bowl, but then I thought, no, it should be a piece of clothing. So they would wear certain scarves and kerchiefs they tie around her hair. And I got the scene in my head that she's laying there. This has been an upstanding citizen, a woman who's always had everything she wanted. Very wealthy, from very wealthy family, very wealthy husband. High society woman, and she's all of a sudden in this incredible situation, and she actually steals the scarf off another woman, lets another woman be punished because she's so terrified of not having her scarf. And then it just hit me that what she's going to do is, from that night on, whenever she falls asleep, she's going to stick her scarf down, make sure she has it, stick it in, well, ain't had no underwear on, but stick it down in her cleavage, or make sure she hides it, between her legs or something. So that, and also too, there's a lot of going on. I actually heard this from a actual survivor from a camp, and her mother had given her a diamond ring, because of course they didn't know where they were going. So her mother had given her a diamond ring that was an heirloom, that belonged to their family, and her mother told her, "Here, take this to buy some bread in case," because they didn't know what was going on. And the woman kept swallowing it. She would swallow, because they searched you when you went in, like it was a police search, like they were looking for drugs. And she kept swallowing it, and then of course the inevitability, it came out, and she'd wash it off, in soup or muddy water, anything she could, and swallow it again, when she got a chance. I thought they were going to be searched. So I was thinking maybe she'd do that with her wedding ring, maybe as they're going in, because they went in, they shaved their hair off, and then they took their clothes, and then they pretty much gave them a search them, and took all their jewelry, took their wedding rings, took anything of value that they had, took the gold out of their teeth, that kind of thing. And I had this scene in my head that she actually takes this ring and keeps swallowing it. She keeps swallowing it, and it keeps coming out, and she keeps holding on to it. And then when it's time for selection, she swallows it again. And that's something else, as far as selection is concerned. They're getting ready to have a selection, and what they would do is, that's when they would weed out the people who were weak. And so what the women would do is, they would prick their fingers and put blood on their cheeks, and they would jump up and down, because anything to look healthy, so you wouldn't be picked. Good was right and bad was left. So you didn't want to get the thumb to the left. You wanted to, get, kind of to the right. So it's a scene of these women trying to jump up and down and put color in their face and all this stuff like that, so that they would look healthy, so that when the selection came, so I had, they would be chosen to live. So I'm going to have a lot of that kind of stuff in there. So I'm gonna go and get my phone changed over and go online and do some stuff, and that's it.